Thank you for joining us for WPRP. I'm Destiny Haynes.
And I'm Brooklyn Lanier Eno. It has cut down on the numbers of students late to class.
But as you can imagine, not everyone agrees on the new tardy policy. WPRP reporter Naomi Banks explains.
I am reporter Naomi Banks, and I run around and ask students and administrators how they feel about the new tardy policies.
I'm not sure how many, but I do know my kids are on time now. It's definitely cut back on how many kids are late to class.
I think it's stupid because people shouldn't have to do like a whole packet of work and then continue have to do it even if they leave.
I think being in tardy hall doesn't benefit them, but getting to class on time does. And I think having tardy hall forces them to get to class on time.
Well, I feel like tardy hall is quite honestly a waste of time. You know, there's a lot of students out there who would benefit more from learning in a class setting than going to some class to do these packets and stuff that they really don't need for their future. Quite honestly, I think that we could do for a better system and a better system of reprimanding students.
I think if all the kids were walking, it would be enough. I know it gets tough because like I have to go over to tech building to score backpacks and I don't have time to stop and go to the bathroom. I have to rush to get over there and I barely make it. So I think it's tough when there are kids standing around talking. Maybe an extra minute might help. But then I think the kids that talk would just stand around and talk and still get in your way. So yeah, just run.
No, 7 minutes is not enough. I don't. Especially if I have to walk to Maine to tech. So.
Well, me personally, I only have classes in the main building, so I believe I have more than enough time to get to class, but I can understand for others in the tech building and just people in further away classes that it can be quite a struggle to get to class within the 5-minute period of time. I don't know if we should change the time or not, but something does have to be fixed within the system to get kids to class on time.
This is WPRP reporter Naomi Banks signing out.
We're halfway through the school year, and with that comes a new semester.
WPRP reporter Snaya Holloman interviewed PRP staff and students on their thoughts about the semester transition.
The start of 2023 marks the midpoint of the school year. Join me as I interview peers and faculty about their thoughts on the new semester.
My name is Ms. Yoakum. I'm the counselor for the Business and Communications Academy. Just wanted to say congratulations on getting through that first semester. I know that can be really difficult, but you guys made it, and you're going to keep going and rock it out this next semester.
I'm Summer. Alyssa.
And how do y'all feel about finishing your first semester of high school?
Hard. Difficult, yeah. Scary, I guess, because new place, new people, new things. If you don't get the right amount of credits, you can't go anywhere and do anything. And if you don't get your grades like good, then you're pretty much going to be stuck behind until the next semester when you restart.
And what are y'all hopes for the new semester?
For it to be easier.
And get better grades.
I'm Ryan Cook. I'm in 12th grade. Yes, this year I've switched from basic 2D design to 3D clay with Mr. Evans. I'm excited for me to finally graduate. You know, it's been many years, you know, especially after COVID, thinking like possibly not even having a graduation. But also, you know, it's sad to think that I won't see many of my peers after, you know, this semester. You know, it's like, it's a mixed thing.
We wish everyone luck as they go into the last semester of the year. We got this, and let's finish this off strong. This is Sanaya Holloman from WPRP signing off.
It's that time of year again. The class of 2023 is in the middle of presenting their backpacks to teachers and administration.
WPRP reporter Natalie Harris explains the importance of keeping your virtual backpack loaded with assignments.
Seniors have been preparing for weeks. Now it's time for all that hard work to pay off. Senior Africa Iteka says she spent countless hours working on her backpack presentation.
began working on our backpack presentations in our English class, and personally that wasn't enough time for me, so I also worked on it at home, and then I made sure to turn it in before winter break so that whenever I got back I could just focus on like making the little spelling changes and stuff like that. And then once we got back, I realized that I had a lot of edits to make, and so I unsubmitted it and resubmitted it like 1,000 times, but I got it in on time.
Uploading assignments and artifacts to your backpack every year is extremely helpful in completing your backpack presentation.
So since freshman year, I've been uploading different assignments into our digital backpacks so that it would be easier for me once I became a senior. I highly suggest that everybody does this because once you upload it, you can write a little description about what it was about and how it relates to the different section that you want to put it in. And it just saved me a lot of time senior year.
Every senior will work on completing their backpack presentation in their senior English class.
To prepare seniors for the backpack defense, I introduce what the backpack presentation is, what they will need to put in their backpack artifact-wise, and the best preparation for individual students is to conference with them individually about what they have in their digital backpack and which artifacts would work the best for each category.
Finding artifacts can be a challenge, but preparing now can help you be more successful.
So the selection process that I went through to pick out my artifacts was I pretty much looked at all the things that I already uploaded into my digital backpack, and then I went through and looked at the things that I thought was a little bit more special, stuff that didn't necessarily have to do with like schoolwork, like more volunteer-based stuff, and things that I do outside of school that really showed my personality.
Seniors will be presenting their backpacks through February. Good luck to everyone. From WPRP, I'm Natalie Harris.
After many years, the PRP Pulse magazine has returned. WPRP reporter Timothy Johnson has more information on the publication.
After 8 long years, the PRP Pulse is finally returning to the Rich. I interviewed some teachers as well as some students to gauge their excitement for the return.
So what is the PRP Pulse?
It's a literary magazine. It's going to carry poetry, short stories, essays. It's going to have also artwork, so if you're an artist or a graphic artist or photographer, you can do the artwork will be completed by you, and it's just an example of how creative our students are.
When I first started here in 2010, PRP had never had a literary magazine, and so I took this on with our creative writing teacher, and we started it then as a collaborative project. Just really wanted to give students a chance to show their voice and to show all the amazing things that our students were doing, all of their talent.
So why has there been such a long break in between this publication of the PRP Pulse and the last one?
That's a good question. The last one was printed spring of 2015. That's what it looked like. First of all, it was the cost of having to produce it. They were having to get advertisers to pay for it. Now, because the paw print is digital, we can use some of that paw print money to pay for the Pulse.
I submitted a personal essay and a piece of artwork that goes along with that personal essay. The essay was about how creativity and how we come up with ideas at random times and how it's hard to come up with ideas at school because we're given a prompt, an hour, and basically we're told to just write about things. So I just talked about how I tend to come up with my ideas late at night when I'm not forced under any set of rules.
I think the best thing is that as a high school student, you can be a published writer. And you get to take it with you. Everybody who gets their item published gets a free copy, and you can order extra copies for $4 each. So you'll email the submission to me for the writing piece. February 20th is the cutoff date, but I'm going to wait until closer to that to actually make the selections. And then I will send those over to Ms. Webb. Ms. Webb's going to be in charge of the layout, the graphic design, putting it together. Then it'll be sent off to the printer, and it should be back, sometime after spring break to hand out.
So you just upload your work, we'll take a look at it. The Google Classroom site just helping us to keep it all organized. Don't be nervous. Yeah, just put yourself out there. We will screen everything. We can't promise that we get everything in, but we really are going to try to make an effort to try to include as many pieces as we can. Most of the issues are running about 60 pages long, so we want to fill it up with our best work. and just show off the amazing things that our students are doing.
Go ahead and submit it is my advice. If you're not sure, if you feel like it's not good enough, just submit it. You can submit up to 3 things, and right now, almost anything that gets submitted will probably be considered because I don't have that many submissions, and we want to have a good size book.
One of the big things I'd say is don't be scared to submit your stuff. I know a lot of people tend to not submit things that they've created or written or anything because they're scared of what other people will think. But I think that showing off your work for other students to see is really important and really cool because it's other people your age. So be proud of what you make. Be proud of everything as a whole, and don't be scared to submit your stuff. Just do it. Go with it.
As we get closer to Black History Month, PRP's Black Student Union is busy working on events for the month of February. WPRP reporter Brian Thornton has more.
Hello, the Black Student Union is planning a variety of events in celebration of Black History Month coming up, including a sculpture contest.
Chris, tell us more about the BSU Black History Month events coming up.
Yeah, I got you. So for Black History Month, usually the BSU mainly wants to do more involvement with the school community, and this year we're really doubling down on that, going out and getting the community involved with what we're doing currently. So we have multiple ideas coming through the woodwork, both of which involve experiences with the community. We're thinking about doing an art contest that celebrates Black culture and celebrates deep diving into some more not well-known Black figures that did a lot for our community nowadays. We're also thinking about getting some speakers in here, speakers in PRP, like in the gym, like for a full student body, not just like the BSU, but everybody that can come through and hear those speakers. We actually thought about the idea of a panel. But besides those 2 ideas, we're going to double down like we did last year with our quotes, said over the loudspeaker, those quotes that we had, doing more of those, just so we can get people engaged in it, even if it's small. We also threw around the idea of trivia, like we did, I think it was 2019, my freshman year. We throw around that idea as well.
It begins as just a week-long celebration in 1925, but in 1976, the celebration was expanded into the entire month of February.
So Silas, what do you think is the most important thing about Black history?
The fact that we even have it, the fact that we can even celebrate it, because in the past, we didn't have the chance to even, celebrate our Black history.
Silas, do you think MLK has made an impact on our generation today?
Of course he has. Like, it'd be insane to say he hasn't. The impact that MLK has had is insanely noticeable in every school, everywhere.
What does Black History Month mean to you?
To me, Black History Month is just, remembering all the Black accomplishments and remembering the history of just Black people in general. Black History Month is just, celebrating everything we've got and how far we've come from, the past.
This is WPRP, BJ Thornton.
It's the 2023 basketball homecoming officially came to a close last week. WPRP reporter Kayla Jones has exclusive footage for the exciting events.
There is no doubt that homecoming is an exciting time for our school. Our students really know how to show up and show appreciation for the basketball team, as well as our court candidates.
During the pep rally, the homecoming candidates walked out one by one to show off who they were and what they represented. Later on at the game, after all the votes were tallied, the homecoming queen and king were chosen.
Hi, my name is Africa Iteka, and I'm your homecoming queen. First said my name just to step up, meaning that I was in the court, and that in itself was very shocking to me because I didn't think that many people would vote for me. And then when they said it the second time, that was very shocking, and I was kind of my mind was kind of blank for a second because I was like, oh, it's me. And so it was really fun and very exciting and cool. Being able to represent student council was a very cool experience because I've been in this club for 2 years now. I was the vice president. I am now the social media specialist, yes. And I think it was a very good opportunity for me to be able to represent student council and show what we're all about.
As you can see, our school goes all out for spirit events, and if you aren't participating, then you are missing out. For WPRP, I'm Kayla Jones.
Despite having a number of state championships under their belt, many are surprised to learn the PRP has a bowling team. WPRP Xavier Hadley spoke to some of the team about their recent success.
As the teams prepare for their state competition,
The boys team in particular is feeling the pressure of being the #1 team in the state.
I joined the bowling team in 7th grade.
I joined the bowling team started freshman year. Wasn't really sure if I really wanted to do that, but I was going to do basketball, but now I decided to do bowling. That's why I am here today.
My favorite thing about being on the team is bowling.
Usually 2 to 3 days a week because we have practices on Tuesdays, sometimes Wednesdays and Thursdays, and sometimes I have a league on Saturdays, so sometimes even 4 days.
The team, we practice about three times a week, but I practice about 5 times a week.
It's just satisfying to me, to be honest. Just throwing the ball out there and hitting the pins and knocking them all down. It's just very satisfying, in my opinion.
Yes, most memorable moment I've had is probably a couple weeks ago whenever we shot that Baker's 300.
I choose bowling because I tried at first basketball and that didn't work out for me my freshman year. Then I realized I still needed to find a sport that would fit me. So I saw the table with the coaches there, and they offered me a chance to be on the bowling team so they can teach me a few things so I can get a future in my life with bowling.
All right. With that said, let's all wish the best for our bowling team in the future. For WPRP, I'm Xavier Hadley.
PRP's theater department is returning in the spring with a new production. WPRP reporter Dylan Walter talks to some of the cast members about the new show.
PRP's theater department has returned with their next show, Peter and Starcatcher. It's about the origin story of Peter Pan. Today, we interview one senior about how this is their last show and how they feel about it. And we also interviewed a freshman, which is their second show, and see how they feel about that as well.
It's very bittersweet that this is my last show with all my friends of Miss Brady, but I'm also excited to audition in new cities for new people. And just because it's my last show doesn't mean I probably won't work with people again, so I might see them soon.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited because it's really fun, and I'm with a lot of the people from the last one, and I know them, and they're pretty good people, and it's a really good environment for people to be in, so yeah, I'm pretty excited about that.
PRP's production of Peter and Starcatcher will open on March 23rd and close on March 26th. For WPRP, I'm Dylan Walter.
Thank you for joining us with WPRP.
Have a great day.
That's a wrap.